So the CSRD is a real game changer because first of all, it's mandatory. Yeah? And the second, it's the most comprehensive ESG reporting around the world. In terms of the scope, it covers the E, the S and the G. To give you an example, very often it's about reporting about climate, but in the E it's as well biodiversity, water consumptions for example, pollution, but also circular economy. In the S it's the own workforce, but as well the workforce in the supply chain, so it's really comprehensive. The third one is that the idea of the European Union is to lift it up like the financial report, in a management report. It will be published in the management report together with the financials. Number 4, it needs to be assured. It needs to be assured by an educated company like KPMG. And then at the end it needs to be signed like the management report, the financials from the CFO. This means consider it something like the ESG balance sheet, what needs to be published every year. And the background behind of this is to steer capital into a green transformation of the economy in Europe. Yeah, absolutely. As I pointed out, that the idea of the European Union is to steer capital. This means think about it's like a triangle. It's strategy, combining with financial results, and now with the ESG reporting, so the CSRD. All three are linked together. Why? To transform the companies into a green and resilient future. And second is to create value. So the CSRD is collecting a lot of data points. And you can use these data points, these KPIs, thinking about what can I do in order to protect my top line, to develop new products. But as well on the cost side, you can compare a lot of energy data points, waste management, etc. Circular economy components. This means you can really save costs and have a higher profitability. The next one is combining what we very often works in with the companies is combining these data points with an improvement of the ratings. Of the ratings like from MSCI or Standard & Poor's. This again has then an implication, for example, for financing opportunities, to have better financing conditions. And last but not least, and more this is important, is it will increase the resilience of the companies. Give you an example, we in Europe have really a big impact from the climate change. There are regions which maybe in a scenario of 2.5 degrees will not have enough water anymore to produce battery cells or semiconductors. This means with all this analysis and data, what need to be done, for example, in the CSRD in E19 climate risk, companies are doing a physical and a transitional risk assessment and considering what does it mean for my existing assets, how can I protect them, but also decisions where I should invest in future maybe to have, even in a scenario of 2.5 degrees, a good business model. We see that the sustainability team is moving closer to the finance team. Why? Because it's the responsibility of the CFO to sign at the end then the CSRD report embedded in the management report. So this means we see a movement from very often from the communications departments, where sustainability is very often located under the CEO, more to the CFO. Another interesting development is, of course, think about like the financial reporting process goes. Every month you're collecting data and then you're reporting packages. This we will see also in future with the CSRD. So this means it needs to be established in every department, new tasks, but as well processes, in order to collect the data on a monthly basis and then after a year then consolidate it. This means at the end it's a transformation of the organization required, establishing new governance guidelines, and that it works, that the people really understand why we are doing this, what is the benefit. It's more or less, it's a change management project, what we do. First of all, start as soon as possible. It takes approximately 12 to 18 months to establish everything. Yeah? The second is, if you have more than one legal entity in Europe, maybe even in a couple of countries, what very often is the case, establish a CSRD project management office to coordinate the activities between the legal entities in order to drive consistency in the same standards. Yeah? The number three is thinking about technology and data. This is really important. Why? Because the data needs to be assured at the end, what we discussed before. So it has a completely different robustness required for how you collect data, how you classify data, how you document data, so that the auditor can give them a proper assurance. So this means start the work stream of tech and data quite early with the software selection, yeah? Combined with the right group strategy. Yeah? And this is the important thing, is now we see again the link to strategy. What do you want to achieve? You want to be just minimum compliant, yeah? Or do you want to use this as steering the company and improving the KPIs? So these are the recommendations from my side for Japanese clients.